After watching RWBY Volume 8 Episode 13, the episode Worthy, I was mostly fine. Yes, completely fine. That being said, when the dust started to settle in my mind, one thing became apparent to me almost immediately. With the comments made by Miles previously,
and it's a volume that we have thought about since before Volume 1 even came out, that is going to be different and interesting.
and with the way he was talking about Volume 9 being something special they thought about even before starting the show, and adding that the show was about to take a little detour in something more strange, and the opening of Volume 8 with each of the girls falling into the void, it was clear to my mind that RWBY, Weiss, and Blake were going to fall too into the void, and soon. Then, the final word happened and... We did get Team RWBY falling into the void, and we did get a bonus guest, but it wasn't Cinder. And after dealing with the roller coaster for my feelings that was the final episode of Volume 8, a question started to form into my mind. Why Neo and why Jaune? Why them? Starting to think about these two, I had to admit that Jaune made more sense into my mind based on the previous ideas that Volume 9 would be about focus on character moments and development of them. Maybe Volume 9 would be a good moment for each of the characters to catch their breath, a moment to evaluate why they fight, and maybe a good callback to the conversation the girls had in Mountain Glen a long time ago. So, including Jaune in the mix, a character that is in the show since day one and had also gone through a lot of trauma and experience since Volume 1 made sense to me. And then came the question of why include Neo? I always thought that Neo would be the wild card in the bad guys corner, and at some point either Neo was going to betray Cinder or Cinder was going to betray Neo, but it wasn't going to happen this soon. And now Neo is in a wild and unknown place with Team RWBY and Jaune. Why? Even if for now everyone is scattered, with only RWBY and Blake being probably in the same place, it's fair to assume every partner is going to find their way back to each other again and soon. We'll got RWBY and Weiss, Blake and Young, and then Jaune and Neo? Like, don't get me wrong, but these two don't have a lot in common. On one side, you have the silent assassin motivated by the loss of the one person who made them feel like they mattered, and on the other hand, you have the genuine paladin who...
You were the first person to ever believe in me. You know that?
who...
Steal, cheat, and survive!
Huh.
be taken away.
I guess they do have one thing in common.
God damn it, Barb!
So, with both Jaune and Neo being the only ones on Destiny Islands without their partners, and with both of them having experienced the tragic loss of the most important person in their lives, my theory is that Jaune and Neo were put together in the void by the writers so that both of them could reflect and parallel each other and their relationships to loss. After all, Neo's attitude towards RWBY is a lot like the attitude Jaune's had towards Cinder in Volume 5. It got both of them reckless, it got both of them foolish, and each time the only one who has come out on top was Cinder. From then on, and admitting Neo doesn't start to go feral the minute she wakes up on the island, I believe that if Jaune could talk to her and reach to her, he probably could understand from where her anger and rage stem from. And from that point, I think Jaune could be a good influence on her, or at the very least, help her on turning her focus towards the one responsible for both of their loss. One of the main themes of RWBY from the start, and you could argue that the whole plot of the show exists because of this, center around the idea of death and how to accept it, dealing with grief in healthy ways, and learning to keep moving forward even after unexpected loss. Jaune's whole character arc from volume 3 to 6 was to learn how to process his grief and anger about the death of Pyrrha. And if one character could learn from that hard-earned wisdom, it's Neo. And with the way volume 8 ended, everything is being set up to have a round 2 with Cinder, but this time with Team RWBY coming out on top. It's very probable that this time Neo is going to be the wildcard in Team RWBY's corner and changing the tide of battle in their favor. While having Cinder betray Neo is a first step in making her refocus her attention on Cinder, before doing anything else, she needs a solid reason to stop to try to fight RWBY. And the only reason that would be good enough would be to show her that Cinder is the one who's always been responsible for Roman's death. But who could convince her? Because it's very unlikely at this point that anyone from Team RWBY would want to engage in anything other than fist to the face with Neo. So it's only leaving Jaune. Jaune arc fresh into his new existential crisis and his own new trauma after having killed Penny. He's someone who can sympathize with her, who can understand her rage and grief, who can understand having someone so important being taken away from you. And from that understanding, forming a bond and a promise for both of them and for the people that were taken away from them. Cinderfall will die. Note that everything I have said is only pure speculation based on seeing the two characters together and would give an explanation for why these two are fallen into the void with Team RWBY. I'd add that I listened a lot to Cold and One Thing while working on this video, and both of these songs resemble each other a lot, except one is about grief, sadness and acceptance, while the other is just pure grief and anger. I also feel that it would be a pretty interesting character dynamic between the Sunshine Boy and the Broody Assassin, and it could lead us down a road to pretty interesting terms about death, grief and how to deal with it in a healthy way, while also showcasing Jaune's character growth and putting Neo towards her true target. I'd like to hear your opinion on that theory, and if you have anything to add, anything you think, or any other theory on why these two are done there with Team RWBY, let me know in the comment section. In the meantime, much love, and I'll see you around.